Well, hello everybody, and welcome back to Charts and Cards in Black and White. And oh my God, it's been a week and everything's changed. And I quickly wanted to look at Joe Biden's chart again. I don't know if Erica's going to pull on it as we do, because it's a real quick thing. I have felt for quite a while, well, since how fast he endorsed Kamala, and how fast it unfolded, and how they did it, and how he's hidden away and not talking about it really yet. But I kind of felt like he planned this, and then I caught Clyburn, one of his very close knit buddies. Um, and longtime supporter. He said, I saw him last week and he said he was thinking of stepping down. And I was like, oh, this was not a sudden decision. He's been thinking about this but he would only have told his closest circle, because that's Joe Biden with his Scorpio stellium in the 12th, very like keeps his cards to his chest. Well, then a friend sent me a video from YouTube that reckoned that his debate performance was him pretending, because he wanted to send the Democrats into they think he kind of he because he only said he was going to be a one-term president. And then he announced to run again, and then he kind of fell apart, and the Dems went into kind of crazy town, and suddenly he pulls out 20 minutes later, endorses Kamala, really giving the rest of the Dems very little choice of who to get behind. Because AOC's video on YouTube as well, which was, I mean, on Instagram, which was quite long, 45 minutes, I think. She said she was spilling the beans about what she hears in the rooms of the power brokers and the donor classes. And she said they don't want Kamala either. And yet here we have Kamala. So I just thought I'd take a quick look at his chart again. And honestly, I think the astrology of that debate night, I haven't set it to the right time, would fit him, planning something very deep inside, close to his chest, that he was not going to tell, like Nancy Pelosi and anybody else like that. I suspect Kamala might have known, but I think he had been planning, waiting it out till after the RNC, till Trump had um, you know, fixed his VP, and then dropping out and basically installing Kamala. And so that Trump, I think he's done it to take Trump down. I don't think he's done it to take the Democratic Party down. I think he's done it as his final, in a way, big act to beat Trump. So, what's your thought on it, Erica?
So we disagree only in degree.
Oh, yeah.
So,
I mean, we don't, because we don't know. It's all kind of like,
well, here's what I think. I think that, well, we all saw the debate.
yeah.
It was catastrophic.
Hmm.
I think maybe he took a night quill instead of a day quill.
But maybe he knew he had them.
No, no, this is where we diverge, and then we'll come back together.
Uh-huh.
I think he did not intend, plan, hope, anticipate that he would do that kind
Mm.
of or have that kind of performance at all, at all. I know he's scorpionic in more ways than one, but that was not planned.
Mm.
I also think that he knew as soon as the debate happened that he was cooked.
Mm.
When Lester Holt said to him, well, did you watch the debate? And he said, man, I didn't need to watch it. I was there. He knew how bad it was.
Yeah, he did.
There's that. I also, though, think that there was, as AOC told us, there was a campaign to pull him out. He
Yes.
said, I could have sworn that I heard him say, I'm going to be a one-term president. But then for years after that, anytime anybody brought that up, it was denied that no, I didn't say
True.
that. You know. Okay. So now I do think here's where we converge.
Uh-huh.
I do think that he saw the lay of the land with the Republican convention. He watched it like we all did. He saw the choice of running mate and he knew what a disaster that was going to be for Trump. It would gain him no one. And
Hmm.
it would only serve to get those people who are entrenched more entrenched and to cast a pall of fear on the rest of us. So I think at that point, he decided to
Quite
strike.
possible.
At that point,
Quite
I
quite
think
possibly. I don't know. I don't know if we'll ever know.
I think that he did not totally decide because he was a pragmatist, he's a politician
Mm,
until he was shown the numbers, until he was shown um, the fact that we would not just have lost the presidency, we would
mm.
have lost all the down ballots elections. And I think I don't think he came to the decision nearly as fast as you think. And I know he did not give that performance for performance's sake. I
Maybe not. Maybe. Well, I mean, I don't know if we're ever going to know that for sure anyway, but I
but
kind of like the
I've
thought,
looked
really.
at the cards and so I drew five and then drew one
Oh,
clarifier on each of them. So
let me stop my share.
first is the book. I don't think that he realized at first how bad this was going to be in terms of votes. He didn't know. This is the votes. He didn't know.
Mhm,
Um, but then he started to think about his own reputation moving
mhm.
forward and how to not just save it, salvage it, but how to burnish it. And it would be through Kamala, because
Mm.
this is a sacrificial act, or it will be perceived as a sacrificial act, as a patriotic act, as something that takes him from good to great as a president, a la George Washington, who refused to have a lifetime appointment.
And
Um,
it's certainly,
he
you
did
know,
this.
a lot of people are saying that for sure.
I think he
So,
did this out of love for the country. I
mhm.
don't think there was any
Oh, even if he did it my way, I think it was completely for love of the country. Yeah, yeah,
um
yeah.
and then you know, we have this older woman here and then mice. I don't think this, a lot of times in Lenormand, mice is um, anxiety or stress, but
Mm.
sometimes it's not. He knew full well that this would activate the Black female base and get people excited. It's the card for excitement. And then we have something really novel, new. I mean, you've got the Republicans saying he can't do that. He had
I
no.
know.
But this is an amazing gift. And I think that when I do the mirroring, I can mirror this first card on the left, which is the book, with the gift. I don't think anybody realized, except perhaps him,
Mm.
what an all around gift this would be, because it has literally flipped the energy upside
Oh,
down.
it really has, you know. I must say though, Kamala and him together seem very prepared for it. So I do think they've at least had, you know, some
I think he
conversations
talked
about
to
it.
her. I
Yeah,
think he talked to her.
yeah.
Um, the other thing is, I actually think that COVID was a gift
Mm.
because he was able to get out of the White House to be back home
Hmm.
with just Jim
I had thought that
and
too.
and and
Yeah.
and and sort of kind of go through the stages of grief, because I do think that he did experience the stages of grief. I think he was
Mm.
angry. I
Oh,
think he was
I
in denial. I think all of that happened once he saw the lay of the land. But I think this
yeah,
was well after the debate. I do not think he thought the debate was going to go as badly as it did.
yeah, fair enough. Oh well, but it was just a thought out there. I thought it was an interesting
Well,
theory.
you know what? I want to say one thing, just
Yeah,
one more thing about this.
Mm,
is I saw the video because you sent it to me and I watched
mm.
it. I think it is so titillating for us to come up with, well, essentially a conspiracy theory. Granted, it's in
Oh,
our favor, but nevertheless, that's what it is, a
oh,
conspiracy.
it is. Yeah.
And
And
I'm someone who likes always to give room and grace for the universe to step in. And I
mhm,
suspect that this is a huge part of what's happened is that the universe, it's like this all the time, right?
mhm,
And
mhm.
when it gets way out of balance, something will happen to cause it to shift to the other side.
Yeah.
This has to be what that is.
Yeah.
So I give the universe credit for this
Oh,
unfolding the way that it has.
oh, I do too, but I just thought it was titillating little theory. And yes, it is a conspiracy theory in a way, but I do really believe that even if it came together right at the last minute, that he consciously did it only as a letter, then endorsed Kamala. And
I thought that
basically
was brilliant. I think the
I
time
thought it was,
called it
oh
because first we got the letter and you had a minute to kind of
yeah,
be upset. And
yeah.
then right on the heels of it, the second thing, I thought that was a stroke of brilliance and
Uh-huh.
absolutely calculated on his part.
Oh, very calculated.
Yeah,
And I think it was very calculated to stop the power brokers in the party
that's
fighting
right.
over who would
That's
be,
right.
yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah. So well done, Joe.
Well done.
Genius either way, basically.
Absolutely.
Anyway, so we have a nominee and it's changing the whole thing. She's up in the polls already. Well, oh yes, she's not confirmed. I know but she's got the delegates and nobody else has stepped up and she's
Oh, I
sent.
thought it was very funny that Manchin said, "Oh, maybe I'll
Oh,
rejoin the party." And,
oh,
I mean, I think he made such a fool of himself. I mean, and then to have to backtrack not even 24 hours later saying,
I,
"Oh, I don't have time. I don't have room in this for my life."
I
and my,
know.
I
I
mean,
know.
that was,
Everybody laughed at it,
yeah,
including me.
yeah, there will be, well, and speaking of astrology, I know that there's all this conversation about I mean, I'm going to be 68 next Monday. So I am
Uh-huh.
old enough to remember the 1968
Mm,
convention. I was 12 and
hmm
in Chicago, and what a S show that was. And so
hmm
people have said, astrologers, of course, have sort of marveled at how exact the astrology is to that time.
hmm
And I always want to say nothing is ever exact,
Oh, I
right? That
no.
there's a
I
concentricity to it. There's a concentricity to it. And we have such an opportunity for a redo of that energy now.
Oh, I get really annoyed with astrologers, and I even said it on my Facebook page yesterday, I think. I said we're in unprecedented times. We really are, energy-wise, in what with what's coming in. I said you can learn from history and look at the patterns, but it's never going to be exactly the same,
No,
ever.
no,
And there's that quote, history doesn't repeat, it rhymes. And then then I heard somebody on MSNBC going, oh, history repeats. And I'm going,
no,
no, it freaking doesn't. It's never
no.
exactly the same.
No,
It's
no.
always,
But I mean, you're right that there are enough similarities that
yeah,
we need to pay attention to it
yeah,
and learn from it and allow ourselves to move concentrically. Yeah, we're coming
yes.
close to it, but it's not going to be exact. And
Yeah,
I think that Joe making that move um, was,
broke something.
yes, it's yes,
Do
the
you know,
butter.
I even said that about the Capricorn full moon. I said it feels like it just really broke something. And of
Well,
course
it's like the
he announced right after the Capricorn
right,
full
it's the
moon.
butterfly effect. You
Yeah.
remember that movie. It's the
hmm
butter.
Yeah.
One little thing changes, and this
hmm
was not a little thing. And then the
Yeah.
entire, trajectory can change.
I've even seen non-astrologers and non-woo people, shall we say, saying everything feels different.
Mhm.
And I'm like, yes, it does. So, yeah. So, if it's all right with you, quick, I think we'd have to go through these fairly quick, but I'll look quickly at the charts of each person. I'm not going to look at Vance, but I want to still look at Joe because he's still president for 6 weeks. I mean months, 6 months. And
what are you looking
I'm
for?
I'm going to look at the Leo new moon because
Okay.
it's honestly astounding on August the 4th. But of course, we'll feel that coming. We're past the full moon, so we're in that period now leading to the new moon. So yes, they happen on a day, but so I just want to show you Biden's transits. But the first thing I'm going to mention is that the new moon is at 12 degrees Leo, which is the degree that Venus stationed direct after her retrograde on September the 2nd last year. So you could pull cards on all of this if you want. Vesta, which basically is the state, it's the hearth, the fire, the fire, the hearth of the state, is exactly where Venus and the Sun met last August the 13th. And Venus is at 29 degrees, which is where Venus stationed retrograde exactly a year ago on Magdalene's feast day, which was yesterday. So, talking of history rhyming,
Mhm.
of course, these are different placements at those degrees, but this is on Biden's Chiron. Venus is on Biden's Chiron in Leo. I think he's showing his healer side. He's showing that, I'm going to show my heart, my leadership, and that I am putting the country first, as we've said. I think that shows it just on its own without looking at the other kind of transits. I don't need to go through everyone. I
Pull
think
some
that,
cards on that.
yeah, I just think to me, the astrology just shows that he really has he looked into his heart and said, I'm going to kind of just do this and show real heart-led leadership. So,
So I have the sun,
oh,
I have the mice,
oh,
I have the cross. And so what I want to say about these cards is this, I mean, if you are of our persuasion, just saying, this is a happy, happy, happy set of
well,
circumstances.
and Leo is the sun sign too, so
Yeah.
you can't, yeah.
And to the point of just real excitement. And
Mhm.
it came about, and this is why I think it's interesting that you mentioned Chiron, because sure, Chiron is the healer, but he's the wounded healer.
Oh
This
yeah, and
sacrifice,
Biden's always been the wounded healer in a way,
right?
hasn't he? Yeah.
This implies that the nation's sort of rebirth happiness
Mhm.
will come at the cost of another term for him.
Yeah, I kind
This
of
is
think
built sacrifice.
I do kind of feel like he's at peace with his decision
Uh-huh.
now, then. And he's feeling the joy as well now, and
Well, you know,
seeing what it's done. Yeah.
that's right. And the thing about the cross is that it's not all pain. It's the card, for example, for altruism. So
Hmm.
altruism, yes, you do lose something, but you
Yeah.
lose it, and what you gain is the satisfaction of having given to someone else.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. So I'm going to look at Donald's chart, and we'll look at our lovely Kamala last. Well, this Venus new moon is right on his 12th house Pluto, which is also where JD Vance's sun is, which we looked at last time, where I said they're going to clash, and they already are. And in his 12th house, I think this is going to reveal, he's going to realize Vance is his hidden enemy, basically. It's going to shine that big light on it. Venus is on his Mars, which is not good as well. And as I remember, that's Vance's Venus as well. I think Vance, is going to take him down. Not maybe just because he picked Vance, I think, not necessarily that he's plotting, although, but also the day after the new moon, Mercury is going to go retrograde into his 12th house. And that's not good for him either. So this new moon in August, and like I said, we're on the way to it now, is not good for him at all.
So I
I could,
have for him, I have the sun again,
oh, I'm going
I
to
have
do this.
the moon,
Hmm.
I have the young man.
Mm.
Now, people think that the sun is always happy.
No, it's
Again,
not always.
a lot of times what the sun is all about is what you referenced, which is you use the words shining a light, right? So
Mm-hmm.
this is shining a light on who he really is.
Mm-hmm.
This is about reputation. This is about self-image as well. And then we have
Mm-hmm.
this one, and this is Vance. This is that
Exactly.
younger energy, that supplanting kind of energy. I
Mm-hmm.
mentioned before that when I had done a reading months ago, I saw that neither of the two original actors were going to be there. It wouldn't surprise me if something were to happen to actually
Mm-hmm.
knock Trump off that top post,
Yeah.
put Vance at the top, which again would be a disaster for the party. And that's
Mm-hmm.
me.
Yep. It would, but and good. Oh, you've gone quiet. I think you might.
No, I'm here.
Oh, you're here. Yeah. So let's do Kamala because, I mean, look, I'm not holding back, showing what side I am. But incidentally, Vesta and Venus are conjunct today, this afternoon, and Vesta is also kind of got that flame energy and is the heart of the state, and she is Venus rising. So that brings me to how this Leo new moon and the energy approaching it is affecting her. Well, it's all going to be in her third house, and which is her voice. I don't know if you caught her speech that she just did a couple of hours ago. Oh my God, I was bawling my eyes out because it was 17 minutes of amazingness, to be quite honest. And Vesta, the state, is right on her Mars on this new moon coming up. I think her voice is going to get stronger and stronger. I think she's warming up. Her Venus on the new moon is, or transiting Venus, sorry, not hers, is opposing her Saturn. And Saturn in some ways represents like the old leadership and things. I kind of think she's taking them down, not necessarily horribly, like with Biden. She loves Joe, but she is like the end. She's the first Generation X ever nominated presidential candidate and will be the president. Anyway, there's loads more I could say about her chart, and we will over time. But this Leo moon, as soon as I did my video earlier for it today, I thought this is going to be another huge change. Also, Uranus is on her Jupiter. That's bringing radical change too. She's on fire. She's revolution right now.
Well, Age of Aquarius. We go.
Yes, yeah,
So
yeah.
I have for her the birds.
Ooh.
And that means that there is a lot of buzz, a lot of talk
Mhm.
around her about this new way of being, doing, thinking.
Yeah.
And then I finally had the fox for her. And I like this because
Mm.
she already is, how can I put it, prosecuting the case.
Oh, she is.
45.
Oh my God.
This is someone who is clever and wily and an expert, and she's a prosecutor. And
Yeah.
she is no one for him to mess with. And
I
that's clear.
I loved what she said yesterday. God, it's all gone so fast.
Oh,
Where she went through
she
which case
listed.
which cases she used to prosecute, then in the end says, I know men like you, Donald Trump. I was like, oh my God. Anyway, I don't want to cut it too short because I have got a bit more time and I'm, ready to dive from one to the other. Is there anything else we should look at, or shall we that, we went a
I
bit,
think that that's good to do the new moon. And I think that
yeah.
in terms of looking at running mates for her, I think that that
Mm,
energy is still in flux. And
it's
so,
very mutable.
yeah,
Yeah.
I think
Yeah. Yeah.
we'll know when it's the right time to
Yeah.
do that.
Yeah, but to go to your Kamala cards, the birds that you got at first, the chatter around her, that fits that third house too, where this it's just her time to shine. And
Mhm.
I have to laugh. I'm in a Facebook group with mundane astrologers. They're supposed to be experts on world events, but no offense, they never agree. So anyway, uh, there's one guy who said Kamala Harris, she's the most boring speaker ever, and my system says she's the worst candidate. And I'm like, have you heard her talk lately?
Yeah,
So that's the third house too. That's that energy, the Leo coming up onto her Mars. She is straight to the point. Mars, arrow. I am
she's
taking the
allowed to
lead.
shine now. You know, she was
Yes,
kept in the background for
mm,
a long time,
she
and
was.
now she's hit her stride.
Yeah, she has. And there's other things I'm going to be looking at on her chart coming up. There's various things hitting her moon, which is an Aries moon. And of course that, is straight talker as well. She is just getting to the heart of everything, the point, and she's going to win. I have no doubt that she is going to win. She
Don't either.
Plu Pluto is coming back to into Capricorn briefly from September the 1st to November the 19th, right after the election. But Pluto is going to station direct in a square to her full moon. She was born on a full moon, an Aries full moon with a Libra sun. And that is going to change the direction. And I think it's going to change it in a very positive direction too. Transformational. Yeah. Amazing.
What a difference a week makes.
Oh, I know. I know. I have to say, I was absolutely gutted when, a friend sent me Joe's letter. And then 5 minutes later, I got a message saying a friend had passed. And then, and then I got a call saying, we had another expensive air conditioning repair. And I was just like 14 minutes of hell, but
Well,
it turned around.
good.
that that full moon did really break things open. Oh my God. And I think it's broken Trump's hold as well. So I think the cards say it and the astrology says it.
I think so
So
too.
yeah. So if there's nothing else to look at, this is a shorter one this week, but we're excited. And I am gonna use whatever platform I have to say, donate, volunteer, do whatever you can, get out the vote. She's going to win big, but that means we have to do the work. It
That's
doesn't
right.
mean we just sit back and go, she's just going to
That's
win.
right. That's right.
All right, everybody. Bye.
Take care.